focusing on the women of 3 countries, and that would be Thailand, the Philippines, and Vietnam.
So let's do this by choosing one word to describe, one adjective to describe Thailand, the Philippines, Vietnam.
Hello everyone, my name is Angelo. I am a passport brother who brought his fiancée from Vietnam to come live with me in the United States. We got married, she has her green card, and we are attempting to live our best life. I am now on my way to work. It's 10 a.m. on a Monday morning. It's actually pretty darn hot outside. It's already 71 degrees so early in the morning, so who knows what the weather's going to be like later on around this afternoon. But what I wanted to talk to you about is a video that I saw earlier today. I was watching it on YouTube, and it was by a channel, and they talk about obviously Southeast Asia. That's my topic. And they were comparing the atmosphere, focusing on the women of 3 countries, and that would be Thailand, the Philippines, and Vietnam. Now, as you know, I am a big favorite of Vietnam for various reasons. My age and I guess stability being one of them. Although I do recognize the fun that you can have if you're a little bit younger, a little bit wilder, and perhaps more adventurous. The fun that you can have in places like Thailand. But so he talked about the 3 differences, and I'm going to boil this thing down even further, just to give everyone a clearer idea of what you might be getting into in Thailand versus the Philippines versus Vietnam. So let's do this by choosing one word to describe, one adjective to describe Thailand, one adjective to describe the Philippines, and one adjective to describe Vietnam. And this is based on a single man's perspective of dating and or finding a first or second wife. In my case, it was a second wife. So let's start with Vietnam, since that's the one that I know most and is, for obvious reasons, nearest and dearest to my heart. Vietnam, if I had to choose a word to describe it, and not just the women, but also the overall atmosphere of the country. It is a socialist country, but the overall atmosphere would be conservative. My word would be conservative. So Vietnam is conservative because they have conservative family values. They have conservative views on interaction with the government, conservative views about how you act and behave in public, and conservative laws that punish very harshly any violation of those laws. And for me, at this stage of my life, that's perfect for me. I'm not trying to do anything wild. I'm not trying to be adventurous. I'm not trying to, rock climb or jump from airplanes, or, have these toxic on and off relationships with women. I'm looking for something more stable. I'm looking for something more rewarding, and something that's going to be more fruitful and enjoyable and just pleasant overall. I know that you can have those kinds of things in Thailand and or the Philippines, those countries also have a different type of reputation, and I'll talk about that as I talk about those individual countries. And that is not what I want, and I think people in my circumstance want. As you get older and you settle down, and you can't do you can't spend hours in the gym, and you got a business to run or a job to fulfill. You want home to be your peace. You don't want to come home to drama. You don't want to come home to complaints. You don't want to come home to just overall unsatisfaction when you get home. And I know that younger men tend to look at that type of relationship as some sort of milestone or some sort of benchmark for how exciting their relationship is. Whereas when you get a little bit older, you're not interested in that kind of stuff at all. There is I've seen this on the Red Pill channels. There's a clip from a television show, and a woman is asking a man, her husband, why is he leaving her? And so, because apparently he's fed up and he's moving on and all of those things, and he's just done. And so she said, well, why are you leaving me? What's the deal? Is she more adventurous in bed? Is she prettier than I am? Is she sexier than I am? Does she do all of the things that you want to do? In bed, is that the reason why you're leaving me? And he cuts her off and he says, no, she's softer than you are. She doesn't make me feel like I'm an idiot when I come home. She listens to me. She uplifts me. She allows me to be myself, vulnerable, angry, or whatever. She doesn't take it personally. She doesn't turn every situation into something where she's the center of attention. That's why I've chosen her. And when you get to be my age, those very words mean a lot. Mean a hell of a lot. So now let's talk about Thailand. Okay, so what is the adjective for Thailand? Well, my adjective for Thailand is party, or good party, or great party. It is a party town. And I'm not just talking about Bangkok and, Koh Tao and Chiang Mai and all of these things. But it is a very much a party atmosphere, and very much a young man's game, number one, and number two, the type of game that is, attractive to men my age who have been stable and quiet and perhaps even dull and introverted most of their lives, and now they want to go out and they want to burn the candle from both ends. They want to shake things up. They want to turn the world upside down, and they want to have fun and a whole lot of Sigma, Echo, X-ray while they're doing it. And good for them, because Thailand is built for that. It is very much a place where the women understand that Sigma, Echo, X-ray sells, and that's what a lot of people are there for. And they have beautiful, beautiful women to carry that out, and they have an amazing industry that will, fulfill those needs. And you can tell it not just by the red light districts, but by how in the major cities women carry themselves. They carry themselves as I think as advertisements of Sigma Echo X-ray. That's what they do. And hey, to each his own. If it's legal and you can't get in trouble, who am I to judge? But let's face it, you're probably not going to find your next Mrs. Brown or Mrs. Smith or whatever in Thailand, particularly as a young man. You're going to find your next jump off or your next conquest or your next good time, and that's what Thailand is about, and that's why it is looked at by lots of men of all ages as the number one place to go as a passport bro, or as someone looking to become a tourist of their other industries, and rightfully so. It is number one, because it's a country that's willing. It's a country that's willing. And then lastly, we have the Philippines. Now, this one was a little difficult for me to kind of come up with an adjective for, because I think Philippines is a mixture of the two. Perhaps it's not as wild and crazy and adventurous and as much of a party town as Thailand, but it's also not as conservative as Vietnam. So what can you find there, and how do you describe it using a single adjective? Well, I would have to say that the Philippines, if Vietnam is conservative and Thailand is a good party, I would have to say that the Philippines is it's a good ride. And by good ride, I mean it's like it has enough to keep you interested and to keep you involved and to keep you happy. But it's not so wild that it'll turn certain people off, certain more conservative people off. But it's not so conservative that it'll make people who are more adventurous, I guess is a good word. It won't make people who are more adventurous completely, shun the entire country because it's just too stuck up and what it goes, stuck on itself and its policies and things like that. The Philippines has some very lovely women. Many are, fit, friendly, and feminine, and some are even cooperative. And it's got a lot of beautiful places to go and visit. They do. I think the Philippines as a whole looks at family more respectfully. They hold family up on a pedestal more than they do singlehood or the single life. And so that's why the Philippines, they kind of, they have their own place where you can go and you can have fun. You know, you got to be careful because they do have some very strict laws and some very unusual things that you have to, you know, be careful for. But otherwise, if you're not looking to settle down, but you're also not looking to have a wild kind of orgy or something, the Philippines would be a really, really good place to travel to and have some fun. It's got, you know, some other things. It's got its dangerous areas, and as you get further away from the big cities, you know, you have to watch yourself. But yeah, that's the Philippines. So obviously for me, the number one is I'm looking for something more conservative, more relaxed, more family oriented, more friendly, you know, friendly people, kind people, welcoming, and safe. And that's why, as I start to focus on my upcoming early retirement, I'm really, really looking forward to becoming an expat and transporting myself and my life out to Vietnam, to either Da Nang, or there's a few other cities in southern Vietnam that I've looked at and that I really, really like. So that is my perspective of the comparison between Thailand, the Philippines, and Vietnam. And that's why I choose Vietnam, because it fits my lifestyle. And you have to choose what fits your lifestyle. And not just, I don't know, I think it's probably important not to just look at this from a vacationer's standpoint, meaning, oh, I'm going to spend a month in Southeast Asia, so it fits my life for that period of time. But you know, things are liable to change. They're likely to change, particularly if you meet someone that is that checks all of the boxes in the things that you want as in a significant other, or in a woman, in a wife. This guy went across the street. No. So that's what I have to say about that. Let me know what you think in the comments between the three countries, Thailand, Vietnam, and the Philippines. Which one, or what adjective would you give those three countries, and why? And then let's break it down and talk about it. All right. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.